Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make homemade Girl Scout cookies, Samoas, or caramel delights. Making Girl Scout cookies at home means you can have them at any time of the year, and they taste way better than the original. Once you try these, you almost don't want to go back to the original. They're so good. They are quite time-consuming to make, but are definitely worth it. I already posted a video showing how to make homemade thin mints and tagalongs or peanut butter patties, and I'll put links to those in the description box, and I'll be posting one more flavor in an upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. Let's get started. To make the cookie dough, in a small bowl, add the flour, baking powder, and salt. Whisk them until combined, and set it aside for now. Then in the bowl of a stand mixer, or you can use an electric hand mixer, add the softened butter and sugar, and cream them on medium speed for a minute or two until light and smooth. Then add the vanilla extract and mix it in until combined. Add about half the dry ingredients and milk. Mix on low until combined. Then add the rest of the dry ingredients and mix in gently until combined and it forms a cookie dough. And mix it by hand to combine all the ingredients. Wrap the dough in plastic wrap. Flatten it into a disc and refrigerate it for at least an hour until well chilled. Remove the dough from the fridge and let it sit at room temperature for at least 30 minutes to let it soften a little so it's easier to roll out. And preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Cut the dough in half. Keep one half wrapped in plastic and set it aside. Don't put it in the fridge. Place the half you're using onto a sheet of parchment paper. I'm placing 2 wooden rulers on each side to get an even thickness. Place another sheet of parchment paper on top of it. And roll it out until it's about 1/4 inch thick. Remove the top sheet of parchment paper and use a 1½ to 1 3/4 inch round cookie cutter to cut out all the cookie shapes. This is a soft and sticky dough. If it's sticking to the cookie cutter too much, you can place the rolled out dough back into the fridge so it's firm again, or keep dipping the cookie cutter into flour to keep it from sticking to the dough. Then use the end of a piping tip to cut out a smaller circle in the center. Again, if it's sticking to the dough, either chill the dough or keep dipping it into flour. Since this dough is sticky, you will have to place it into the fridge or freezer to get it firm again so you can remove the cookies from the parchment paper. You can roll out the other half of the dough while the rolled out dough is chilling. Once the cookies are chilled and firm, remove them from the fridge or freezer. Remove the cutout center and place the cookies onto a sheet pan, spacing them out at least an inch apart. If the dough is still sticking to the parchment paper, sprinkle a little flour next to the dough, and use a thin metal scraper or spatula to get it under the dough, and it will lift them off. Then make an indent on the cookies using the back of a cookie cutter that's slightly smaller than the cookies. This creates a well so the cookies will hold a little more caramel, and dip it into flour if it's sticking to the dough. Then bake them in the oven for 10 to 15 minutes until they're just starting to lightly brown around the edges. When they're done, remove them from the oven and let them cool on the pan for at least 2 minutes. Then transfer them to a cooling rack and let them cool completely. And repeat that for the rest of the dough. Then we're going to toast some coconut. To do that, add some shredded sweetened coconut onto a sheet pan lined with parchment paper. Spread it out in an even layer. Place it into the oven and bake it until it's toasted, which takes about 15 minutes. It depends on how much is in the pan. If there's less, it will take less time. If there's more, it will take more time. Stir it every 3 minutes so it's toasting evenly. And spread it out in an even layer before toasting it again. Repeat that until it's nicely browned. Then once it's all nicely browned and toasted, remove it from the oven and set it aside to cool. For the caramel, you can use store-bought chewy caramels. Just add them into a heat-proof bowl. Add some heavy cream to loosen it up a little so it sets more of a soft caramel instead of a tough, chewy caramel. And heat it in the microwave until they're all melted. Stirring every 30 seconds or so it doesn't burn in one spot. And this is what you would use to cover the cookies. Or if you're like me who prefers to make everything from scratch, here's how to make your own caramel that's way better. And to me, it's well worth the extra effort. First, in a heat-proof bowl or liquid measuring cup, add in the heavy cream and butter. And heat it in the microwave until the butter is all melted. And set it aside for now. Then in a large heavy-bottom saucepan, add in the sugar, water, and corn syrup. And place it onto the stove over medium heat and heat it until the mixture comes to a boil, stirring it occasionally. Once it's boiling, you don't have to stir it anymore. Then use a pastry brush dipped in water to wash down any sugar crystals that are stuck to the sides of the pan. That will cause the caramel to crystallize, giving it quite a grainy texture instead of smooth. Then add a candy thermometer and heat it without stirring it until it gets up to 320 degrees Fahrenheit. Make sure the end of the thermometer isn't touching the bottom of the saucepan, or it will show the temperature of the bottom of the saucepan instead of the actual caramel. Once it's getting near that temperature, have the cream and butter mixture ready to go when it gets there. Then once it's up to that temperature, immediately and slowly add the heavy cream and butter mixture and stir until combined. It will bubble and steam a lot, so be careful. Once it's all added, keep stirring until it's all mixed in. Add the candy thermometer back into the saucepan and heat it until it gets up to 235 degrees. That temperature makes it set into a soft caramel instead of chewy. Once it's up to that temperature, remove it from the heat. Add in the vanilla extract and salt. I'm using kosher salt. And mix them in until combined. Once you've made the caramel, whether it's the one with the store-bought caramels or the homemade caramel, add a small amount of it onto a cool surface and move it around so it cools quickly. This will give you an idea of how it will set once it's cooled. You want it to be a soft caramel and not chewy or runny. If you're using the store-bought caramels and it's too soft, add in more caramels and melt them again. If it's too firm and chewy, add in a little more heavy cream. Place a cookie into the caramel top side down and push it down a little, being careful not to get burned if it's still very hot. Use a fork to lift it up from underneath. Place it into the toasted coconut. Press it down so the top is completely covered. Place it onto a sheet of parchment paper. And keep doing that for the rest of them, working quickly before the caramel hardens. If the caramel gets too hard to use, you can place it back onto the stove or heat it in the microwave to thin it out again. Then leave the cookies until the caramel is completely cooled. Then add the chocolate of your choice into a large heat-proof bowl. I'm using 2/3 dark chocolate and 1/3 milk chocolate. Add in some coconut oil or shortening to thin it out a little. And heat them until melted. If you're using real chocolates that contains the ingredient cocoa butter, you need to temper it, which means you can only heat it to certain temperatures. If you heat it too hot, it's not going to set hard. It will stay very soft and will melt easily at room temperature, especially in your hands when you hold it. I have a video showing how to temper chocolate in 3 ways, and I'll link to it in the description box. Then once the chocolate is melted and the caramel on the cookies is completely cooled, pick up each cookie and dip the bottom into the melted chocolate. Place them onto a sheet of parchment paper and let the chocolate set. Then add the remaining chocolates into a plastic bag. Cut off the corner of the bag and drizzle the chocolate all over the top of the cookies. Let the chocolate set, and then they're ready to enjoy. These will last in an airtight container for up to 1 week and possibly longer. The chocolate and caramel keeps the cookies from going stale. You can even store them in the freezer for up to 6 months. And that's how to make homemade Girl Scout cookies, Samoas, or caramel delights. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give this video a like and check out my channel for many more videos and subscribe to my channel for more to come. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.